According to ethanol proponents, it will not be possible to meet the 36 billion gallon renewable fuels production mandate relying solely on corn-based ethanol. With that in mind, the energy bill specifies 16 billion gallons must come from advanced biofuels. Feedstocks for these advanced biofuels are expected to include municipal solid waste, wood chips, wheat straw, switchgrass, and corn stover. Leading the way to satisfy RFS2 is the world's largest single producer of ethanol, POET. Through Project Liberty, POET's advanced biofuels program, the ethanol giant plans to produce or assist others in the production of 3.5 billion gallons of cellulosic ethanol annually by 2022.
It's a brand new industry within ethanol, which is relatively new, being about 20 years old. We still call ethanol a very immature industry. There's still a lot to learn and a lot of efficiencies to be gained. And this is adding a whole new component to it that really changes the game for our company, for our country.
To get the ball rolling, POET opened a cellulosic biofuels pilot plant at its Scotland, South Dakota facility in 2008. Producing just a few thousand gallons each year, POET Scotland has been a test bed for advanced biofuels development. USDA research shows 1.3 billion dry tons of cellulosic biomass is currently available in the United States. According to POET, that's enough to produce more than 1/3 of the fuel used by American drivers. After several $1 million in research and development, POET has begun work on its full-scale cellulosic plant in the northwestern Iowa town of Emmitsburg. Referred to as a bolt-on facility, the biomass plant will be located on the same grounds as the company's conventional starch plant. Ethanol production at the advanced biofuels operation is expected to begin in 2012. POET plans to use more than 300,000 tons of corn stalks, cobs, and leaves to make 25 million gallons of cellulosic ethanol annually. This will increase the total output of the Emmitsburg facility to 75 million gallons per year.
We're trying to stay away from the lower stalk and any dirt that the farmer may pick up. We don't want that. But anything from the ear up, we'll take it.
Biogas released by Project Liberty's enzymatic process will be used to power both the biomass facility and the nearby starch plant. Byproducts from the anaerobic digesters are expected to be used as fuel and as a product to improve the physical properties of soil. According to POET, when operating at full capacity, ethanol produced at the Project Liberty plant will actually have a negative carbon footprint. To gather the necessary material to feed the $250 million facility, Roth has enlisted the aid of area corn farmers to bale 1/4 of the stover normally left in the field. POET research shows this equals about 1 ton of material per acre.
The literature we've reviewed says that on a given cornfield, you can take approximately 25% of the above ground residue and leave 75% on the ground for future years, for soil organic carbon, for nutrient replacement, etc.
Roth had no problem finding 85 farmers to sign 4-year contracts obligating them to collect, store, and transport something that used to be considered a waste product. He actually was forced to turn producers away. To encourage farmers to capitalize on these next-generation fuels, Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack recently unveiled the Biomass Crop Assistance Program, or BCAP. The matching program will pay up to 75% of the cost to produce, store, and transport the alternative feedstock.
I believe the need for energy security, a cleaner environment, and better economic opportunity in rural America make the case for action now.
The idea was not lost on Myron Brune, who grows corn on 1,200 acres with his brother near the Emmitsburg plant. Brune sees the BCAP payments as a good incentive to get involved in the biofuels industry.
It's an investment to buy all the equipment, but there should be some return on the investment. We don't farm a lot, and if you can put a little more in your pocket by the end of the year, and it's progress.
Between the payments from Poet and the reimbursements from BCAP, Brune says he can afford the $75,000 investment he's already made in a new baler and a lowboy trailer for hauling the 1-ton round bales to the plant. Poet is paying Brune $45 per ton. 25 miles away, Dick Nelson is using experimental equipment supplied by Poet to gather square bales.
We've been cussing the corn stalks for years because we have so much cover on the ground. Now we can take off a ton or whatever, and it won't affect the erosion or anything. So it's a win-win proposition, I think.
For a square bale of biomass, Poet is paying $65 per ton. The first pass collection method has its advantages and disadvantages. For Poet, less dirt gets into the bales. For the producer, more fuel is consumed while combining. Nelson also likes the idea of BCAP helping him pay for new equipment.
It's a great program. They talk about grinding up trees and switchgrass. Well, we got all kinds of cobs here, so it's going to work, I think. If they can make fuel out of it, we can do it. So I'm excited about it, yep.
Since this story was first broadcast, farmers have begun delivering some of the corn stover bales to the Emmetsburg storage yard. For Poet and the farmers gathering biomass, the dream remains the same: reducing America's dependence on foreign oil.
With the advent of cellulosic ethanol, not only from corn residue, but also from switchgrass and bagasse and other materials, we will get to the point where ethanol can replace the 60% of the petroleum that we currently import. And if we use 40% of petroleum that we currently have domestically, and then the other 60% is ethanol, we are now energy independent.
For Market to Market, I'm David Miller.
Next, the Market to Market Report.